and welcome to episode 64 of the Giddy Knits podcast. As always, I am Helen and I'm coming to you from Dundee in Scotland, where I live with my husband Tom and my two boys, Arthur, who is 6, and Jasper, who is 3. Today is Saturday the 4th of July and this is my knitting podcast. I talk about whatever I am working on knitting wise. Occasionally there's crochet and basically anything that I'm doing crafting wise. Hopefully I will have put up my little screen at the beginning so you'll know where to find me around the internet and on social media and stuff like that. But for those of you that don't know, I am the dyer behind Giddy Yarns, and yeah, I think that's my general intro. Hopefully. Welcome back to anyone that watches regularly. Sorry I missed last week. It was just a very busy weekend and we had lots of family stuff planned and I just didn't get a chance, to be honest, to sit down and record. So apologies for that. But I am back again now and I have got quite a lot of stuff to talk to you about. I've not got as much knitting content to share with you, unfortunately, but I do have a lot to chat about. So what have I got for you this week? I'm going to start off with some announcements. I've got some prize winners to announce from the Giddy Yarns Make Along. I'm also going to announce a new Make Along that we're going to start. And then I have got a finished object to share, and I'm going to share a little bit of blanket progress. I've got a rather large amount of yarny goodness again. But it's not all yarn, actually. I call it yarny goodness. It's kind of my incoming section, but it isn't all actually yarn. You'll see when we get there. And then I'm going to talk a little bit of shop news at the end as well. So let's go straight in to the knit along talk, the make along talk, shall we? So as you may know, if you are a regular viewer, we have the Giddy Yarns Make Along running over in our Ravelry group. And that is a make along which, as long as your project uses 50% Giddy yarns and has been finished this year, you can enter it into the thread. It's an ongoing make along, so I'm just going to keep it going. I think what I'll probably do is we'll have one finished objects thread a year, and as I've been doing so far, I'll just put a comment in that ends the quarter, and then that just lets me know where I draw the next quarter's prizes from. So yeah, we have quarterly prizes, and the second quarter ended on the 30th of June. Sorry, one of my friends is sending me lots and lots of WhatsApp messages and I can just see the notifications coming up on my screen. It's really distracting me. Do you get people like that who can't just send, like, see, I'm the type of person that I will send one long message with like everything I want to say in. And then there's people out there that send like 5 or 6 different messages with like each sentence in each message. She's one of the people that sends sentence messages. Anyway. She seems to have stopped now. What was I trying to say? Yeah, so drying prizes quarterly. The second quarter ended at the end of June, so I have drawn prizes. And we've got quite a lot of prizes up for grabs. There are 3 pattern prizes and 2 yarny prizes for the second quarter. And I used random number generator. There were, let me see if I can do this without knocking the camera. I didn't work out how many there were. 30 entries? I think it was slightly less than 30 because there was a spate where somebody deleted some of their comments and those still count as numbers. But so basically, I'm getting covered in hair. What was I trying to say? I've lost the train of thought now. I got so distracted by those WhatsApp messages. The first entry of the quarter was number 12 and the last entry of the quarter was number 42. So I put those numbers into random generator and drew out 5 numbers. So we have 5 prize winners to announce. I will start with the yarny prizes. So the first person has won a skein of this lovely yarn from me. Oh, the lighting is going to be frustrating me today. Maybe I've got that. I keep thinking I've got it. It's because I'm still not back to a full setup with both my studio lights. I've still got just the window on this side and the studio light on this side, and I kind of feel like I lose the lighting a little bit. But anyway, so this is from me. This is my Make, Do and Mend colourway. This was the main colourway for the May Nostalgia Club, inspired by the 1940s. And this is on my single ply base. And the winner of this was post number 28, and that was Elizabeth Laban, who is in the UK, and she knit a pair of socks using my bird watching colourway. So that was really nice. So those of you that have won Yarny prizes, so Elizabeth and the other person, if you get in contact with me, and although I've probably got both of your addresses already anyway, get in contact with me and let me know that I've seen this. You can contact me either on Ravelry or on Instagram, or you can email me as well. I don't know if my email address is on the thing at the beginning of the screen, but it's just giddyyarns@gmail.com. Any of those ways, get in contact with me so that I know that you've seen this, and I will get your prize in the post, basically. So yeah, Elizabeth, congratulations, you have won this skein of yarn. I don't think you were a nostalgia. If you did order my Nostalgia Club and you've already had this colourway, then let me know and I will sort something else out. I've got a box of colourways. We can work that out. Anyway, the second person who's won a yarn prize is Anne, who is Tuckadori on Ravelry, and Anne is the designer of the Gentle Waves shawl, which is one of our other prizes. So it's really nice that she's won a prize. She has won a Yarny prize. She has won this lovely skein of yarn from Debbie at Down Sheepy Lane, and this is the raspberry colourway. And again, it's another single ply base. It's really, really lovely. I really don't want to give this up. So thank you so much, Debbie, for kindly donating this. And Anne knit a pair of socks using the leftover Sea of Adventure colourway and the leftover Lost at Sea colourway that she used to design the Gentle Waves shawl. So that's really nice. So again, I've got, oh, actually I might not have your new address, Anne, actually, because you're just moving in the process of moving house, aren't you? Get in touch with me when you've seen this and let me know your new address and I will pop this in the post to you. So that is the Yarny prizes, and then we've also got 3 pattern prizes. So having just talked about the Gentle Waves shawl, let's go with that. So we have a copy of the Gentle Waves shawl to give away, which was kindly donated by Anne, so thank you for that. And that is going to post number 30, whose Ravelry name is Sept. You haven't got your actual name listed on your Ravelry page, so I don't know what your actual name is, but you're based in the UK. And you knit a gorgeous flax light using a combination of Castleview yarns and then 2 of my colourways, my pressed flower colourway and my Operation Social Justice colourway. And it was really nice to see those colourways used in that way. So thank you. What I will do with the pattern prizes is I will just pass your Ravelry name on to the designers and they can gift you the patterns directly on Ravelry. If you are having issues with Ravelry at the moment, and more on that in a minute, but if you are having issues accessing Ravelry at the moment, then get in touch with me and I will see if there is another way that the designer can send you the pattern. Right, so that's that one, and then we've got 2 more patterns from the lovely Vera, and that is the I Just Dropped My Scarf and I Just Dropped My Shawl patterns. And the winner of the I Just Dropped My Scarf pattern is post number 42, and that is Emma Wilcox 22, who is also in the UK, and you knit a lovely hat out of my mulled wine colourway. So again, I will get the designer to send the pattern straight to you via Ravelry, but if you can't access Ravelry currently, then let me know, and we will work out how to get it sent to you in a different way. And then finally, for the I Just Dropped My Shawl pattern, the winner was post number 22, who is Tina Smith 011114 on Ravelry. So the same with you, Tina. You knit a lovely pair of socks using my Back to the Future colourway from the film club last year, and again, I will either get the pattern sent straight to you via Ravelry, or if you can't access Ravelry, then let me know. So anyway, anyone that's won, get in contact, let me know that you've seen it, let me know that you're happy with how I'm sending out the prizes, and congratulations. The next quarterly draw prize will be at the end of September, I think. Yeah, the end of September. So keep adding your finished objects into the thread. As long as they've been finished this year, it counts. It doesn't have to be finished within the quarter. If you've not entered it into quarter 1 or quarter 2, but you finished it in March, for example, then it can still be entered to win a prize later in the year. That's absolutely fine. Right, so that is all of that. Now, also talking about make-alongs, I thought we'd start a new make-along, and I put out the question last week as to what people would be interested in doing. And we had a lot of suggestions. I'm going to pick my notebook back up again because I wrote down notes. So there were lots of suggestions in the comments, so thank you to everyone that comments. I've failed to get back to people this week commenting wise, but I have been through, and you'll know as I've written these down that I have read them all and I have seen all your suggestions. So there were a few people suggesting a Christmas in July knit along. A lot of people liked the idea of the summer holidays, or a cotton garment kind of knit along, or a seaside knit along. And then there was also a suggestion of a mini skein knit along. So I think what I'm going to go for is we're going to do a summer holidays make along, and it's going to include anything that you can link to the summer holidays, basically. It's going to be really open. I'm not going to be specific. It doesn't have to be, you know, a specific thing, but if you can find a way to link whatever you are knitting on or whatever projects you choose to the summer holidays in some way, even if that means that you are just sitting in your garden because it's the summer holidays and you're working on a project, then that is fine. So that's what we're going to do. Those of you in the southern hemisphere, sorry, you're in the middle of winter, aren't you? But maybe you can link your project to dreaming of summer or something like that. And it will run from, so it will backstart it from the 1st of July, because up here in Scotland, the summer holidays have started. They started at the end of June. So we have started our summer holidays, and we will finish it on the 6th of September, because I'm pretty sure that around the 7th of September is when the English schools go back. Does that make sense? So our schools up here actually go back in the middle of August. Arthur goes back to school on the 11th of August, hopefully full time by the sound of it. Anyway, fingers crossed. But we'll run it so that it covers the Scottish and the English summer holidays, I think. And yeah, anything that you can link to summer holidays. So, I mean, for those of you that were liked the idea of a cotton garment, that's fine, because it's a summer themed outfit. It's a summer themed kind of thing that you knit, so I could definitely link that to summer holidays, because it's something you'd wear on your summer holidays. Yeah, I hope that's okay. Now, in light of the new update to Ravelry and the issues around accessibility that are happening at the moment with that, what we're going to do is we're going to run the knit along on both Ravelry and Instagram. So if you want to join in on Ravelry, then I will have a chatter thread and an FO thread as always. And you can post your pictures in there as you normally do. I will draw a prize from the finished objects thread, and that is how that will work. If you want to join, if you can't join in on Ravelry, or you'd prefer to join in on Instagram, what we will do is we will have some hashtags. So to kind of have a chatter kind of theme, we will just use the hashtag summer holidays mal, which I'll put on the screen now. And that will just, if you follow that hashtag, you'll see what other people are posting. I'll be able to see your posts and stuff like that. So you can share your progress, you can chat about what you're planning to do and things like that using that hashtag. And then for your finished object, which is where I will draw the prize from, if you can use the hashtag summer holidays mal FO, then I'll know that that's the finished object, and then I can use that hashtag to draw prizes from. If you can tag me in your finished object as well, so just include my Instagram handle at Giddy Yarns in your comment, then I will get even more notified of your post when you post it, and it will just mean that I'll be less likely to miss it. So I hope that's okay. I hope that makes it accessible to everybody, and yeah, I will draw prizes on Instagram and I will draw prizes in Ravelry. Yeah, hopefully Ravelry will get things sorted out. Fingers crossed, we will see. But anyway, that is the new make along. I think I've explained everything for that. We're like nearly 15 minutes in and I've not even talked knitting yet. Talking about your other ideas. So September, October, traditionally, I tend to run a Halloween make along. I am a big lover of Halloween. I've got no idea why, but I am. And I kind of want to keep that up this year. So I think September, October, we will run a Halloween knit along again. But the Christmas in July, I like the idea of a Christmas gift knit along. I am a rubbish gift knitter and I very much leave Christmas gift knitting up until the last minute. So I think maybe what I will do is I will do a kind of November, December last minute Christmas gift knit along. I think we might do that for those of us who have left the gift knitting till the last minute and need that kind of motivation to get it finished. And as for mini skein knit-alongs, there are a couple of people that are currently running mini skein knit-alongs. I think Sharon over at SCR1TNO has a mini skein knit-along on the go at the moment. And who else did I see that had a mini skein knit-along? I know that Ollie and Bella of the Ollie and Bella podcast and Nikki of the Clara, oh wait, she's not Clara, she's Clara Peggotty on Instagram, isn't she? But it's the Sheep and Cheerful podcast. They both have a joint Scrappy Blanket Adventures knit along. So if you're knitting Scrappy Blanket Adventures with mini skeins, then head over there and join in those. But yeah, I'd want to do another mini skein knit along. I think maybe we'll have to leave that until next year for the moment. I can't do too many at the same time, I lose track, and then I don't join in on them myself. So yeah, summer holiday make along is a go. I'm going to put that notebook down and let's actually talk some knitting now we're 15 minutes in. Right, I have a finished object to share with you, and I've just realised that I've forgotten my sock blockers. So bear with me 2 seconds while I grab my sock blockers. And by editing magic, I now have sock blockers. So I have finished a pair of socks. I am molting horrendously. Apologies if I am just covered in hair. As you can tell, I've got slightly damp hair. I had a shower this morning and I don't like to blow dry my hair because it just goes really, really frizzy. So I tend to leave it to dry naturally. But if I just tied it back, it goes all horrible. So I've kind of clipped it back to keep it out of my face while I talk to you. But because it's drying, I'm now molting. It's really disgusting. Sorry. I also have a shiny face because I'm fresh out the shower too. All the glamour here. Yes, I finished a pair of socks. I will just pop these on the sock blocker. And I don't really have a name for these. I need to think of a name for them. I'll just pop one on the sock blocker. You don't need to see them both. The second one is just here and it is identical. So, yeah. But these are the socks that I have been knitting. So the yarn I used for these is an Easy Knits colourway, and it was, I don't think I've actually got the label in here anymore. It was the rainbow grey colourway, and it's just a fun kind of micro striping. I mean, you can see really well on the foot there. It's just a fun kind of micro striping colourway. And then what I did as I knit down this foot, I haven't followed a pattern, but what I did is every other time the stripe came up, I purled the stitches after the stripe came up. So you get these little rainbow pearl bumps. And I did that all the way around going down the leg, and then going down the foot. I've just done it on the top of the foot. And then I put in a garter stitch toe. And with my garter stitch toe, what I basically do, because I do a toe where I do, so you knit one, slip, slip, knit to the last 3 stitches, knit 2 together and knit 1, basically. So for the first row of the toe with the garter stitch toe, you would do that as normal. And then the second row, you knit 2 stitches and then you purl to the last 2 stitches and knit 2 stitches. So you've always got the kind of knit 2 at either end, but then you've got the garter stitch on top. And I really, really like that. And then when you get to the part of the toe where you are decreasing every row, it's fine. It just means that I still do like I knit 1, slip, slip, knit, and then purl, and that it works for me, and I'm happy with how the toe works. But yeah, I just thought if I did the garter stitch toe, it would tie in with the garter stitch panel, the pearl panel-y bits up the foot. Anyway, I'm really happy with them. For the heel, I just used a mini skein that I had. I think it was a Lolo Did It one that somebody gifted me a while ago. A couple of years ago now, actually, I think, when we were first up in Scotland. Somebody very kindly gifted me a load of Lolo Did It minis, her little, what does she call them? Her little Lolos, in lots of different colours, and they're brilliant for heels and toes. And I just thought, I picked the purple because I thought it worked really, really well. And I've done exactly the same on this foot. So yeah, I have a finished pair of socks. I can't remember what number this is for the year, but it was just nice to get a pair of socks finished, to be honest. And I'm desperate to cast on another pair now. Got to have a pair of socks on the needles at all times, don't you? I'm tempted to cast on 2 pairs because I'm itching to cast on a patterned pair, you know, something that's got like a bit of lace and a bit of more complicated patterning to it. But at the same time, I really like having a simple sock on the go that I can just pick up and do something on. This was simple enough to just pick up and do whatever I wanted to on it. So yeah, I need to have a little think. I've got a few bits caked up. I'm wondering if I've got a few bits in here. I've got a box next to me here. What's in this one? Yeah, so I caked up this lovely yarn, and this is a Yarn Badger self-striping. So I think that might be one of the next ones I cast on. But I think I might keep that as vanilla socks, and then I might have a little look and see if I got anything else in here. I don't know. I might have a little look and I might dig out something else to cast on as a slightly more complicated lace kind of sock. Right, what else have I got to show you? Have I told you everything about these socks? Hopefully. If you ever have any questions, then just let me know, because I'm sure I forget to say things that I'm supposed to say as a podcaster about things that I'm using. And if you want any more information about how I did the pattern, then get in touch, because it isn't a pattern. It isn't an official pattern, but I'd happily kind of let you know, write out what I did down the leg kind of thing, if you're interested in replicating but aren't sure how to do it yourself. Yeah, I'm not going to publish sock patterns. I don't have the skill, but I can let you know what I did. Right, this might be a longer episode because I'm really chatty today. Can you tell I've not really talked to anyone apart from my husband and kids for 3 months? Right, blanket progress. I don't actually have any other knitting progress really, because I've been focused on getting those socks finished and getting my blanket up to date. So I know many of you have been watching for a while, and you will know that I am working on a Cozy Memories blanket. This one here. It's massive. I cannot quite show it to you and still be on screen. And I am joining in. Sharon of the SCR1 TNO podcast is doing a square a day knit along, and the idea is that you knit a square of your Cozy Memories blanket every day, so throughout the year, so that by the end of the year you've got kind of 365 squares and a finished blanket. Now I need to work out whether 365 squares is going to be right. I might need to add a few more to square it off, but that's kind of my plan. And the knit along is working quarterly, so you have a quarterly check-in thread. And at the end of June, I needed 182 squares. And if you've been watching the last few weeks, you'll know that I had a lot of catching up to do. Well, I managed it, and I got my 182 squares done on the 29th of June, and I was able to get my photo uploaded into the thread, and yeah, I'm quite pleased. I'm really enjoying the fact that the knit along is encouraging me to do more on this blanket and actually make progress on it. And I was a bit worried that really having to catch up at the last minute was going to put me off working on it, but you know what, I've really enjoyed it. So I've added a lot since I last spoke to you. We've got this square here, and this is from Henny Penny Makes, and it's one of the colourways from the 12 Days of Christmas collaboration box that I did last year, which hopefully will be coming back again this year. I really need to get my act together. I've contacted everybody. I'm just waiting to hear from 3 people, and I really need to get my act together and kind of contact those 3 people again and chase them up to see if they still want to be involved, and if they don't want to be involved again this year, find other people to be involved. So hopefully it will be happening again. It should be launching on the 1st of August if I get my act together. And then I've got these 2. These are completely random mini skeins that I received in swaps, so I don't actually know what they are. What else have we added? These 4 here. I think that one was just from one of my advent calendars. That one is from Joni Unravelled. That was again one of the ones from the collaboration box last year. That looks like it might be one of my colourways. I think that might be the dark colour, or it might be Silent Disco, or it might be the dark colour from my Gradient Party kits. Not 100% sure. That one, I don't know. And then we've got a few more. That one I don't know. This one is from my So Faded. It was Fuse Fibre Company, I think. That one is from, I think that was the Nora George colourway as part of the collaboration box last year. That's a random mini. That's a Nora George, but that's the Snowdrop colourway. And that's another random mini. And we must be getting there nearly. What else have we got? Oh, look, even more down here. That is my Voyage of the Dawn Treader colourway. That is a random mini. That is the Game of Crafting colourway from the collaboration box last year. That is the Craft House Magic colourway from the collaboration box. That is the Corner of Craft colourway from the collaboration box. That one is the Rusty Ferret colourway from the collaboration box. That one is a random Down Sheepy Lane mini. Oh, we've got a few more over here. This one is the Lay Family Yarn colourway from the collaboration box. I've added lots of those. That is just a random mini. That is my Peter Rabbit colourway. I think there's some skeins of that on the shop actually. That's my Peter Rabbit colourway. That's a random one, and that is a Lay Family Yarn Crocus colourway. And another random one. And I think that's everything. There we go. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. What are we on now? Did I say it's the 4th of July today? It's the 4th of July today. I am a couple of squares behind again already. I've added 2 squares so far this month, but I'm hoping to sit down this afternoon and catch those 2 squares up, so that I can kind of try and keep on top of it a little bit more and not end up with a ridiculous number of squares to add at the last minute. But yeah, I'm really enjoying working on this. I think this is going to be a really lovely blanket for Arthur. It's really weighty, and he loves snuggling up on the sofa under a blanket, and at the moment his anxiety is sky high, and he's really needing that. We have got a weighted blanket on order for him. My cousin has a company called Snoozy, who create weighted blankets, specifically kind of for children with sleeping issues or for children with anxiety and things like that. And they were just waiting for her next load of orders to arrive, and we've got one of those coming our way, so hopefully that'll help. But I think this would be quite a nice weighty blanket when it's done as well. What else? I feel like my room's echoing today. I don't know why. What else was I going to share with you? Yarny goodness. I have quite a lot to share with you in terms of yarny goodness. Let me just stick this back in the bag. Some of this is still bits that have been arriving from the Wool Monty when I ordered a few bits from the Wool Monty. Others are bits that have arrived in different ways. Some of it is yarn, some of it isn't yarn. And we'll start with what I'm wearing. So this is one of the things. So this t-shirt is from Stitches Tees. I think I've got a card somewhere here. Yeah, there we go. Stitches Tees. There's information on the back there as well. Again, I'll link all this in. I didn't talk about show notes. Show notes will be down below the video. We'll also have a thread over on Ravelry that you can come and chat about if you can access Ravelry at the moment. But you're always welcome to leave comments and questions down below as well. But yeah, Stitches Tees. And they do a real customizable kind of thing. You can mix the colours and everything like that, and they've got lots of different kind of texts that you can have put on. And I picked this t-shirt. I wanted one of their dyer t-shirts because obviously I am a dyer. So I went with the navy with the neon pink. I love a good comfy t-shirt. This is kind of what I live in, really. And then I also got one of their sweatshirts. And this is the Knitter sweatshirt. I just went for grey with black. And yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. They had a special birthday discount running, so I thought I would just treat myself to finally getting one of those, which I have wanted for absolutely ages. So that is one thing that wasn't yarn related. I have another thing that isn't yarn related. It's just because I wanted to share this little small business with you. If like me, you love kind of just little fun things. This is from the novel, I can't even say it now, the Novel Menagerie, and it is so beautifully packed. And this was just one of her, she does little mystery boxes. There'll be quite a lot of crinkling here. She does little mystery boxes, and they're not overly expensive, but you just get like a load of mystery bits from her website. So to start off with, I had a couple of little postcards. So this is actually her kind of thank you for ordering card, but it's still a really fun postcard. A lot of her stuff is themed around books, so there's a lovely Jane Eyre postcard. I'm not the biggest fan of classics. I really struggle with classics, but Jane Eyre is one of the few classics that I've actually read and really enjoyed. I like the stories. I struggle with the prose. I'm quite funny like that with books in general. I find that the prose really has to kind of grab me. If I have to kind of really fight to read the prose, then I'll struggle with the book, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it. But yeah, beautifully packaged. Look, it's got all this little confetti in there. A little packet of love hearts, which actually haven't been eaten. And then it also came with a little print postcard with this one is mistletoe. So that's really nice. And what else was in here? She does stickers and things like that. So this was a lovely little print which will go up on my wall, and a little sticker, kind of the similar, obviously from the similar range of prints, but that's a sticker. And then I got a couple of badges as well included in this. So the first one was a little rainbow balloons badge, which is really fun. Again, I will pop that up on my pin pendant, which, look, it's finally on the wall. How long has it taken me to get it on the wall? And I've now blocked it off with a box of yarn. And then I also got this pin, which is a Jane Eyre pin, a wooden Jane Eyre pin. So I'll pop that up on the pin pendant as well. So yeah, just a lovely little small business. I'll link her down below. She does all kinds of fun things. She does some really nice bookmarks and stuff like that. Just all kind of handmade and just really lovely. So I thought I'd share that with you, even though it wasn't kind of yarny. And then what else did I want to share with you? So much stuff I want to share with you. This is going to be a longer episode, sorry. And it's not even going to be about that much knitting wise. Right, let's talk about a couple of other things. Stitch markers. I had a few stitch markers arrive as well. I ordered, as part of the Wool Monty, I ordered a couple of stitch markers from the lovely Hannah at the Corner of Craft. So I got these two fun ones. I got a purple elephant and a rainbow sheep. Yeah, they're really, really fun. So those will be added to my stitch marker collection. And then I also wanted to support the lovely Lindsay, who is Stitch Create Love, and she has just opened an Etsy shop of her own, creating stitch markers. She's also doing some sewing kits and things like that, I think, now. Lindsay also has a podcast. So she is Stitch Create Love on Etsy. She's Stitch Create Love on Instagram and on YouTube as well. And she's been making these gorgeous kind of stitch markers and progress keepers with gemstones. Sorry, that one is wiggling around everywhere, isn't it? And they're just really, really pretty and really, really lovely. So I treated myself to a little set of those. And yeah, they came beautifully packaged as well. And it also came with a little sewn envelope. And inside here was a little... just kind of their little information. So inside here was also her little thank you thing with all her information on. I've just dropped it. A tea bag, and also a couple of extra little stitch markers on some ribbon. So that was just beautiful, really thoughtful packaging, and it was a pleasure to open the package. I love it when packages are like that, when opening them is such a pleasure. I'm really bad at my packaging is quite basic because I just need to get it out the door most of the time, but I do love it when people make an effort. I love how it kind of comes on a little card as well, and she's put a little personal note inside the card, which is really nice too. So yeah, that's another one. And then I've got two yarny things that I'm going to share with you, and then one other thing that is kind of yarny related that isn't yarny related. So the first one is quite big, and that is my mystery gem from Gemma at the Little Grey Girl. She does quarterly mystery gems where she works in collaboration with a yarn dyer, and they have a mood board. You'll have seen these before because this is the second year running that I have been part of the mystery gem kind of club, I guess it is. So each month they have a mood board. So this is this month's mood board, and this is the Ocean edition. And the dyer that she's teamed up with for this month is Lay Family Yarn. And this was the bag that came with the mystery gem. So it is mermaids. It's one of Gem's little triangle bags, which are great for knitting socks on the go. And it's got little mermaids all over it. It's really fun. And then this is the yarn that Kelly at Lay Family Yarns, or Nick, I'm not sure whether it was Kelly or Nick that dyed this one actually. This is the yarn that came with it. Really, really pretty. And it's a really interesting yarn base. I haven't actually got the yarn base information on here, but I'm pretty sure that, having chatted to Jem anyway, I'm pretty sure that the yarn this month is a combination of merino and mohair. So yeah, it's kind of like holding the mohair double with the yarn, but it's already just in it and it's 4-ply. So I think it's a mix of merino, nylon and mohair. But it's really, really pretty. So I think that might have to be some kind of cozy bed socks or something like that at some point. And then it also came with a little sample of some soap and also a little set of stitch markers from Jem as well. Really fun. I can't show these to you. Really fun kind of geometric shapes. Can you see those there? I block my face off. I don't want to spill them. There you go. Triangles and hexagons. Yeah, triangles and hexagons in various different colours. Really, really fun. So yeah, that's lovely. I mean, I love getting this little mystery gem box. I can't remember who the next porter is actually. There's some good dyers this year. Right, and then one more yarny thing, because this section is getting a bit ridiculous, and that is some minis from Castleview Yarns. Castleview Yarns are the dyer for the mini skeins for the Flower Power Fund this month. A proportion of these bundles goes to Marie Curie as well, which is brilliant. And I just thought they'd look lovely in my blanket. And I like supporting the Flower Power Fund, having been part of it myself. And it comes with a lovely little progress keeper on there as well. So these are her Primroses mini skeins. These are available. She's got them up for dyed to order, or pre-order, however she's got it working, for the month. So if you're interested and want to support the Flower Power Fund, then Castleview Yarns is the mini skein dyer. Right, I need a drink. Now, the last thing I wanted to share with you is something that I'm really excited to have received as a gift. The lovely Nikki over at Sheep and Cheerful podcast, I mentioned slightly earlier about their Scrappy Blanket Adventures make-along that they are running. So Nikki is running it with Cherie of the Ollie and Bella podcast. And Nikki has created some, to call it her Secret Diary of a Scrappy Blanket kind of project book, this one here. And she very, very kindly sent me one as a gift. So it starts with, on the front, you've got the Secret Diary of a Scrappy Blanket, aged however many years, obviously inspired by the kind of Diaries of Adrian Mole. I can remember reading those when I was younger. And it comes with little I don't know what they're called. Rings? Let's go with rings. It comes with little rings, so it's like a little ring bound book. And inside you've got multicoloured pages. And it starts with a section which are... she's got some little quotes on the front there. And then it starts with a section of kind of, you've got all these different cards with date, time, so the time that you worked on it, the time spent, the number of rows added or squares made, the yarn you used, the colourway you used, and then you can even include things about the mood or the weather or something like that, and then anything else that you want to put in, so kind of like when you were working on your blanket, what you were doing, what was going on, anything special about the yarn, you could add all kinds of things like that. If you watch Nikki's podcast, you'll see that she's also hole punched into the bottom of hers and added little bits of yarn of each of the colourways she's added that day. So there's a number of kind of those pages as well. And I think if you purchase the book, you can get additional pages as a PDF download and print them out yourself. And then the second half of the book is, I've got to find it now. Here we go. So there is a little divider in there, and you can decorate these dividers however you want, which I really like. I will be getting my washi tape out and doing some washi tape decorating. And then the second half of the book is all about your scrappy stash. So whenever you get scraps in, whenever you buy mini skeins in and you've got them specifically planned for the blanket you're using this for, you can include them in there. And it includes things like the date that it came in, the yarn, the weight, when you can put when you actually used it. You've got little notes about like whether it's leftovers from a project, who it's been given to you by, anything else to remember it, and things like that, which is really lovely. So yeah, and it's obviously really customizable. Right, I'm not sure if my camera cut off in the middle of that or not, but yes, really customizable and absolutely lovely. I am going to keep this aside and I am going to use this. I have mentioned before that I really want to start a hexagon crochet blanket. So I did a little test hexagon and worked out how big I could get out of 10 grams, and that's what I want to do. And I think I'm going to keep this aside and I'm going to use it specifically with that project. So yeah, but of course now I'm really desperate to start that project because I really want to start using this. Oh wow. But thank you so much, Nikki, for that. That is absolutely lovely and I can't wait to start using it. I probably will be starting that blanket sooner than I intended to now. Okay, finally, I wanted to talk about a bit of shop news. I'm really conscious that this video is getting a really long compared to my recent videos. But shop news, what did I want to talk about? I don't know. I'm looking at my show notes and I can't read my handwriting. It looks like I've written yarn short. Oh, I have written yarn short because there is a shortage of yarn. You may have heard from a few other dyers via Instagram that Chester Wool Company, who is the company that a lot of us buy our wholesale yarn from, our undyed yarn from, have a shortage on a number of bases. And that is true. Fortunately, just before I found out about the shortage, I didn't know anything about it, I ordered all of my Advent yarn and that arrived last week. So I'm very pleased that I've done that. But they are now completely out of mini skeins in the yarn base that I use until September, which obviously is a bit of a pain and it's a bit of a nightmare. They are also out of my standard merino nylon sock base until the end of July. That should be less of an issue because I think I've got enough of that. But what it means is that for my yarn clubs, it may be that for the August yarn club, I may need to make the mini skeins myself. So it's not a big issue. It just takes more time for me. I'll have to break down 100 gram skeins to make mini skeins. Or what I might do is I might dye the colourways in a 100 gram skein and then break them down into mini skeins afterwards. But it does mean that until kind of the stocks of the minis come back in, the appearance of the club might be a little bit different because it might be reskeined rather than dyed as a mini skein, if that makes sense. But hopefully it shouldn't be an issue. They haven't run out of lots of other bases. There are lots of other bases, but it's just the most popular bases. Basically, they have all the yarn is kind of processed in Peru. They have a lot of companies over there a lot of smallholder farms in Peru that they work with that produce the yarn, and they've got the big manufacturing kind of facility over there that manufactures the yarn. Peru have been on lockdown as well for the last 10 weeks and they're only just starting to be able to get back to starting to process. Chester normally have a 7-month stock of yarn, but there's been an increase in the amount of yarn that people have been buying because of lockdown and everybody wanting to knit more, and as a result those stocks have been used up faster than they were expecting. But it's not a big issue, and actually they're being very, very clear about it, and they've also got a really, really good clear timelines as to when things will come back into stock. So don't worry, don't panic. I have got yarn, and the biggest thing I was going to panic about if I hadn't ordered it would have been the Advents, but I have got all the yarn for the Advent calendars. And talking of Advent calendars, I have 6 left in stock. They will be the last 6. There are 6 10 gram Advents left in stock. That is it. When they are gone, they are gone. Obviously partly because of the shortage of yarn, I'm not going to be able to put any more up anyway, but also just because of time and not really knowing what's happening about school and stuff, I can't increase the amount I do of those. And then 2 more things. Tonight at 8 p.m, hopefully this video will be up and you will have seen it before then, but tonight at 8 p.m, I'm going to have a little, it's not quite a shop update, but, well, I guess it is kind of a shop update. Basically, at the yarn shows this year, I had been planning on having kind of like a bargain bin, a bargain bucket. I don't quite know. I don't like the term bargain bin, but you know what I mean. I was planning on having a discount box. And I've been kind of putting yarn aside and I've been kind of sorting stuff out for that for ages. And then obviously the physical shows haven't happened. So I am going to have kind of a discount box sale tonight on my website. I have a great big box of yarn. That is what this box up here is. This entire box of yarn will be in the discount. There are a few colourways that there are probably 4 skeins. Some of the colourways have got kind of 4 skeins. So if you're looking for a sweater's quantity, then you might be able to get that kind of way. There's also a few 50-gram skeins in there. Yeah, hopefully it will all be listed and ready to go up for tonight for a little shop update, just a kind of discount shop update. And then on the 18th of July, I am taking part in Yorkshire Yarn Fest again, the virtual Yorkshire Yarn Fest. And hopefully I will have various things back in stock for that. So I am planning on having the Winnie the Pooh collection back in stock again, because I know a few of you missed out on that again. So Pooh Sticks will be back in stock, as will the Winnie the Pooh mini bundles, hopefully. I will also have the Flower Fairies mini bundles back in stock, and hopefully the Bedtime Stories mini bundles back in stock as well. Those I break down from 100-gram skeins anyway, so the lack of mini skeins isn't an issue there. And then I'm also planning on doing some kind of collection of sock sets. I know a lot of us love to knit socks in summer, and I like doing kind of summer sock sets. So I'm going to make them available as kind of 120 grams or 70 grams. I just haven't quite struck on a theme. I did a seaside sock sets last summer, so I don't want to repeat that. So I need another kind of summery themed kind of thing for this summer that I can go with. I'm not sure yet. I need to keep thinking about it. I'm very much a last minute person with these things. Suddenly inspiration will strike me next week and I'll be able to come up with 5 colourways that will work perfectly and I'll be happy with it. But yeah, you just have to wait for inspiration to strike sometimes, don't you? Anyway, that is everything shop news wise, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. What else did I want to say? I don't know. That's it. I'm done, finally. Oh, bonus long episode this week. And lots of chat and not a lot of knitting. Sorry about that. Hopefully, now that I'm back to only needing to really do 1 square a day on my blanket, I'll be able to make more progress on the other things I knit. Anyway, I will leave you there for now. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've stuck it out this far, then well done. Prize winners, get in touch. Let me know that you've seen it and come and join in the new make along. I will hopefully link everything down below in the show notes so that you can find it all easily. And yeah, I will try and get back to all your comments as well. Thank you so much for watching and see you again next week. Bye.